Hey guys, and welcome to the Men's Forum.
Your guide to being a better man.
Here we talk about everything to do with dealing with the nuances of life as a man.
This is your safe space to finding solutions to any problem you could be facing as a man.
We're your hosts, Rajveer and Shaleen, and today we're going to be getting to know each other and asking each other really deep, uncomfortable questions. Since you're tired of my arguing and debating, we'll just move on to the next question.
I'm tired of you.
I hope you saw facts in what I said. If not, it's also okay because I respect your opinions. Okay, so tell me, can you describe a moment when you felt most vulnerable and how did you cope with it?
I can say this was a period of time where I had all the responsibilities on my shoulders. I think that was my toughest because I didn't know what to do. I was weak. I was so weak. I just finished uni. So I'd studied in India. So I did 3 years in India. Even that time, my parents weren't doing good financially. I was so lucky to have my aunt who was, she really helped me out in terms of providing a shelter for me, food, and also financially here and there. When I come back to Nairobi, now I'm thinking everything here is great. You know, I've not come home in 2 years. Oh my God. My parents and my younger brother had moved into a really shitty house. Like if it rains, you have to move your bed like this and it's literally dripping. So like if this is a square room, one bed is like this and one is like this near the door.
Oh gosh.
Because if it rains, then it's like, oh man, like if it rains, you're like, oh fuck tonight.
This is moving from that house that you guys were initially, that outhouse, to now another house.
So from the outhouse we'd moved to another house for 10 years.
Okay.
Which was good. It was a great apartment, but sadly our lease ended. We had a 10-year lease. It ended,
and then we had
to move out here.
Okay.
But my parents moved out when I was in India, so
okay.
I was not around. Now I come back and I see how the state of living that my parents are in, my brother is in. I'm like, what the fuck? I really had a decent life in India in terms of my aunt being there for me. I'm like, these guys are really suffering. And at that same time, my dad didn't have a job. My brother was in uni. My mom was barely earning anything. Let's say she's not even earning anything. Yeah, she's just going to work to just make sure that she could just provide for food at home. That same year, my dad got diagnosed with cancer, mouth cancer.
No.
So it was one thing after the other. So he's jobless. He's probably picking up money from somewhere to drink and he's coming home drunk every day. I got a job in Tanzania. So I was moving to Tanzania the following week. And then it came to a point where the expenses were just too much. You know, again, I had so much on my shoulders, like at a very young age, so many responsibilities. How do I cope with it? How do I manage it? Where do I get help from? Of course, cancer is not cheap. And anyone who's beaten cancer and have come through, respect. You know, I have my friend's sister. She's fought cancer and she's going to come on the podcast. I think those are warriors, man. Like going through it is tough. Number one, everyone around you is going through mental torture because even they're shouting, they're screaming. You need financial aid. Everyone is just in this mood, man, every single fucking day. Like it's just like she's pissed, he's pissed, tantrums, pain, you're in pain, you're trying to figure out how you're going to, you know, resolve everything, but you can't. And at that I'm so young, man. I'm really trying to figure life out, and I've just started my life in terms of earning money. It came to a point when he was seeking his treatment and they would just be like, we need this much, you know, money. And I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? Do I pay rent here? Or I send money there and then nothing is left for food. Nothing is left to pay the employees that we have at home. Oh, it was tough. Now I was having this thoughts in my life. I'm like, it takes 1 second to kill yourself. And all this is, I'll be at peace. So I started thinking about it, right? I even figured a way how to do it naturally. I started, you know, seeing like how people kill themselves. What are the cases? Because if you Google up that you want to kill yourself, Google will alert that no, don't do it. Speak to someone.
Oh, really?
Those websites will show up. Yeah, anyone can try it. And I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to plan it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to borrow some money, get a good life policy, and kill myself naturally so it doesn't look anything happen, and at least these guys will be sorted.
That
And
is crazy.
and I was going through this thought process for about a month, and I started the day that now I was really having the courage to initiate the process. That's when I told you that my life kind of changed. That's when I got a phone call, and that one phone call changed my life. I went where I'm working now. It's a blessing because they saved me. Because if I didn't pick that phone call, I usually don't pick random numbers ever. That day I decided to pick a random call,
Wow.
and because I was looking for jobs. I was everywhere I'd go, and I was honest with them. I'm moving because this is my problem. I'm not greedy for money. It's not like I know I'll grow in life, but I just in that moment I just needed help financially. Oh, yeah, it was deep, man. It's even tough talking about it because even I don't think my mom or my brother they know about it. And yeah, I went. So she called me and she said, "Can you come see me now?" And then after that, everything's fine. But when life puts you down and you have to think about even probably standing on a ledge or you know thinking of ways of killing yourself. I think everyone at the back of their mind, if you guys ever need help, please call me,
Call
call Rajveer,
someone.
call someone, anyone, a friend, and talk to them.
Yeah.
Because I
In those
know,
moments, it's easy to feel like you're really
oh yeah, I
alone.
was
Yeah.
weak, bro. I was going through shit.
Yeah.
Man, and then I was in a toxic relationship on top of that.
Oh God. Oh God.
Yeah, so much was happening, right? And then I didn't understand why I was even doing all this, right? Again, I was automatically now the provider, the protector of the house.
Yeah.
So I kept feeling so responsible because sometimes I think about if I really didn't do all that, I would have been okay if I was selfish.
Yeah.
Right? I would have been
You could have
perfectly
easily
fine.
just provided for
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah. But I understood that is my role in this world right now. I'm the giver and I'm the carer, and which I've accepted. So now things are so much easier within my mindset. But yeah, that was my lowest point.
My God, dude, that's insane. Very brave of you to share
thank
that,
you.
man. That's it's an intense story.
And this story is not for empathy or I don't want pity. I want it
No, of
to
course not.
inspire people, be
Yeah.
like, hey, you're not alone, I wish I had someone who could tell me that you're not alone. Sadly, my family is very disconnected, my extended family. We don't talk to each other apart from a few who are not around. But anyone who's around Nairobi, we don't link, we don't speak to each other. So there was no support system as well, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
everything was me. There's so much. Fuck, man, it was pain, man. Like, anyways, yeah. Sometimes just
Yeah.
But
Do you still feel it? Do you like?
oh no, I'm so much calmer.
Yeah.
We're all on a spiritual journey which I've embarked on recently, and it's beautiful. After
just like,
after we did our podcast on manifesting, I'm applying it more deeper
Okay.
within my mindset
Good.
and my practice every day.
Yeah. And you do message me, you're like, I'm manifesting that we do this. I'm
Yeah.
manifesting that we do that. I was like, if you tell me, of course we're gonna do it. We gotta.
And and the conversations we're having, we're attracting so many beautiful people towards us.
Agreed.
And again, we're not doing this and we keep telling this, we're not doing this for money. We're not doing it. We just want to make an impact, and the movement is going to be beautiful. But yeah. What about you? What about you? Have you had a very low point in your life where?
I have vulnerable. Okay, so in my definition, I don't think vulnerable is weak. I just think it's kind of like an opening where if you like really surrender and submit, then you see the gifts of it. I'm sure, like you've mentioned your entire story, but if you look back, there's a lot of things that you learned from it that have sort of made you a stronger man. We're doing this podcast because you went through these things, so we're doing a lot more empowering things in our lives because of these vulnerabilities that we face. So I don't think of vulnerability as weakness. I just think of them as opportunity. I'll talk about like this time in high school. I had just made like 2 really good best friends. Knowing what you know about like, my childhood, not so confident, and the friends that I had were very like scanty-ish. So this was like something that looked like really rock solid in my life. Like, yeah, I have proper best friends now. But there was a point where we got into like a fight and it just all like broke down. I was like, it feels like really, really horrible. And I feel like so alone and I have no friends now. And then they got into like drugs and stuff. So that made things even worse. I remember very vividly, this was during O level. So we went on like the holidays. Our friendship broke before the holidays started. Went on holidays and I was just like figuring my own stuff out. It was a very lonely holiday, but luckily I had a PlayStation. And then come back to school and hear like these guys that you were friends with, they smoke and they chew and they drink and they do all this stuff. I think that was a very weak point in my life, and I felt so horrible. I felt like I was the cause of that, even though I wasn't. It was their choice. They decided to do it. So I guess at that point in my life, I had two choices. I could continue down that path of like, okay, maybe having friends is not something for me. Maybe not having good friends is not something for me. Or I could like choose this different path of saying, this happened for me once and I can do it again. Make new friends.
You know that someone wise told me this, that your friend circles will always change.
They always change. Yeah, I've noticed that.
And for me, I've understood that from high school till today, I've never had
the same friends.
I have one friend. I don't even call her my best friend anymore. I call her my constant, because we've been close for about over 11, 12 years now. And not even 12, 2010, 14 years now. 14 years of very healthy friendship. So, and why I like not having a friend circle that is constant? Because when I'm in different social settings, you learn so much.
You learn different things.
I was just adding to what you were mentioning, and you grow, you really grow. And so imagine if you were stuck to those two friends, right? Let's go to another scenario. Let's go back to that day. If you chose to stuck by them, assuming that right now they're still in that shithole, you'd still be,
I would have fallen into that. Yeah, that for sure. Like, it's crazy in hindsight when you look at these things, you're like, at the time I felt so bad, but man, if I was friends with them, shit, I would be like into drugs and stuff. And it's so that's why I just say vulnerability, it's God's calling for better choices for you. And when you look at them in hindsight, you're like, whoa, he did save me from, that call that you got. I'm sure you believe in miracles, because damn, like you want to go and kill yourself and someone's just given you a call at the right time. That is God.
So I can really relate to my high school friends. Till today, like most of them didn't like me. I don't know why. I didn't understand why. Or probably it was...
it's because your eyes.
But I don't know till today, like, but the beautiful thing about it is now when we meet, we talk to each other with so much respect. Even though they hated me, even if they spoke shit about me. And high school has their drama.
Yeah, it does.
It's like watching 90210 Beverly Hills. Yeah, like back in the days.
It's drama. Then you start exploring other friend circles and you learn things. You learn that, okay, fine. If I've lost this friend, it's not the end of the world. You can make other friends.
But at that very moment, you're feeling shit.
God,
you're like,
man.
how can they? Why?
There was a time like after that fight, I wrote some shit about them on a desk, and someone found out and took us to a discipline teacher.
You were that guy.
Yeah, I was that guy. and then like after all that happened, like I cried to them, and I'm like, I'm sorry, but let's just be friends again.
That's funny. That is
it's so damn hilarious.
That's so funny.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, right now those same guys, like we're good friends.
Oh, bless.
Yeah.
And
they look at me now, and they, like, one of them, he always says this, like, you have grown into one of the most special men that I know.
Oh,
it's unbelievable. And then he'll throw in that joke of like, but be my friend. I'm like, you fucking asshole. But I mean, it's good to feel that feeling of like, I could have chosen another path.
Yeah.
But I didn't,
You see, when you lead by example in terms of your growth, where you've come, you become a better man. When people see this, they get inspired.
They
You
get
know?
inspired, yeah,
And
for
also
sure.
they will pick up something from your journey where probably they'll apply in their life
Yeah.
to probably achieve. I know everyone is different from each other, right?
Yeah,
You can
for
never
sure.
be the same, but there'll be some learnings out of that journey of yours. And now when you guys sit and have the conversation, even you're going to learn something that bad change, that bad energy has now become
Good energy, yeah. It's transformed for sure.
Have you experienced a failure or setback that changed your perspective on life? How did you bounce back from it?
You say I speak about my relationships a lot, so I'm not going to speak about my relationship. I'm going to speak
Not
about a
again.
very freaking funny failure in my
guys,
life.
guys, just tell him not again. No. Please
Oh,
do.
not
No.
again. This
No.
guy sounds like Ted Mosby. Okay, I'll tell you about. This was in my photography career. Okay, so I was just starting out. I was building this business, and when you get hired for a wedding, and it's like you're 18 years old and you're being paid like 100 G's to go, you're like, what the hell? This is
That's
crazy.
a lot of money.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of money for an 18-year-old, especially when you're being taken care of by your family. Like they're still pay their expenses. So I got one wedding, and I felt that dopamine hit of 100K, and I'm like, okay, easy money. So there was an event that I was called to shoot. And they gave me this proposition that if you print photos on site, we'll pay you for the photos. We want to do about like 2,000 photos or something like that. So in my head, I knew that this could be easy money. And printing photos is freaking cheap. So at the time, it costed like 20-ish shillings. And I told these people I'm going to charge them 400 per photo.
Business idea.
Oh yeah, it's a crazy business idea. And these guys were like, yeah, let's do it. So me, in order to keep those expenses low, I went and I rented a really cheap printer, went and bought cheap paper, and I'm like, let's do it. So during the event we've shot, I have this memory card I hired an assistant, I gave it to the assistant, I'm like, go print. And then I keep shooting, and then I get a call from my assistant. This printer, it's leaking, it's not working, it's printing super slow.
Man.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. So I go and look. So I've been taken away from the event shooting, and I'm going to see what the problem is. This printer is just all kinds of hell, bro. So it's taking like 10 minutes to print one photo, like this size photo, dude, a 4x6. And then every fourth photo, it starts like blotting. So so it just blurs out the photo. So you've printed 4 photos over 40 minutes, and then the 5th photo is coming out badly.
Oh, man.
And then the printer itself now just starts jamming. And this event was like a 3-hour event. So we cannot make it in time to print those, 2,000 photos. Wow.
So how did you damage control the situation?
I couldn't. I left. So I talked to the organizers. I'm like, we didn't get to print all these photos in time. Their idea was that as guests leave, they just pick their photos and go. So the event organizers go like, you really messed up, and we don't know how we're going to send these photos now. They never called me back to shoot again. And it was something that was like, if you do this right once, this event keeps occurring, and it could be something huge for you. And yeah, I dropped the ball. I let my greed get the best of me. And that was when I decided, like, people do say there is things like easy money that exist, but you need to be smart, and you got to put your greed aside. The easy money is there, but put your greed aside. Where expenses are due, you must pay for those expenses. And we spoke about karma, right?
Yeah.
There's a karma flow. There's a karmic flow in money as well.
Yeah.
So if I invested in the right printer and cut through my profit margins, that would have been a better option. So, I mean, in terms of work ethic now, I take my work a lot more seriously. I don't cut corners.
I think I've seen that. I mean, even the attention to detail, like here or even on our podcast, he does all the editing, so it's awesome. And I know it takes a lot of your time, and I think I appreciate you for doing that. Thank you. Yeah,
thank you. Cheers to that.
Yeah, I'm grateful, man. I'm super grateful. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate in terms of business as well. That sometimes you do have setbacks, or you'll fail in a certain
sometimes
deal.
you fail. And then, the crazy thing is, like, in the moment, you're like, oh my gosh, these guys are going to go and tell more people and my business is going to get ruined. And how am I going to blah, blah, blah. And then later, just a couple of weeks down the line, you get another gig. Someone's
life moves
hiring
on,
you,
yeah.
and life moves on,
True.
So it's never really, that's also, I guess, one of the biggest things it's never really the end of the
Yeah.
world in such situations, it's people forgive you. Like these same people, the event organizers, I guess even through the growth that they've
Yeah.
seen and stuff, they're like, they call you back, I guess, so for me, like I did get a call back like way many years later when I developed my brand and everything.
From what you've mentioned, now you've learned how to mitigate risk in terms of all aspects. And also, again, you mentioned the attention to detail. Now you're more proactive in terms of making sure that everything is fine.
Yeah, very perfectionist.
Yeah, so damage, I think now you're doing super well in terms of damage control.
Yeah.
And again, being a perfectionist is actually a really good quality because we don't learn it. You experience things that builds you to become a perfectionist.
Yeah. What about you, man? What's your tea?
So for me, if I am to reflect back on my life right now, I wish I studied these questions.
It's all right,
I would
man.
have had 10 out of 10. So I studied in the field of finance. Okay, hear me out, right? In school, I wanted to be an engineer, but my mindset was always influenced by my parents saying that we don't have money, so you have to become an accountant because my dad was an accountant.
Okay. Did they think
Traditional-
accountants make that much money?
Yeah, well, he wasn't clearly.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Traditionally, like how all families be like, if there's a doctor in the house, they want you to be a doctor. If there's an engineer in the house, they want to be an engineer. So I really used to love, I don't know if you've ever played this game called Flight Simulator X.
No.
So you're basically in the aeroplane and like you literally feel your, handling the aeroplane in the air. It's
Really?
beautiful.
Huh.
So each and every different command would be like quite closely precise to an actual aeroplane. So like if you press D, the wheels come off. So many things, right?
Okay.
So how did you do aerospace engineering? I don't know why. I just developed this.
I thought you were going to say pilot. That
Yeah,
was
no,
such
hear
a
me out.
hope. Okay.
So I love there's so much that goes into an aeroplane that we're so ignorant about. Like small, tiny things. From the tiniest wire to the tiniest knob. And we don't understand all these things, yeah?
Yeah.
So I want to be an aerospace engineer. Man, I was told you're stupid. Because the school fees
Go
were...
become an accountant.
Yeah, like in the States, I remember there's this university, I don't want to mention the name, but the fees were $40,000 a year. Whoa. So it's a lot. And again, it's a degree that you have to be, number one, also be very highly intellect.
Yeah.
By then, I think I was fucking around with women by the time. But so that was my thought process probably from, let's say, 2007 when I was in year 7, year 6, year 8.
Okay.
Then I changed. I'm like, now I want to be a pilot. Then again, when you tell people what you want to be,
Yeah. They slap you.
somehow all these uncles and aunties always have this notion saying, but beta, there are no jobs
Yeah.
in Kenya. So again, now that kind of influence to change my thought. And then my parents were like, sorry, we don't have money. The best you can do is go away. You can study here. Sadly, I could not even afford university fees. So I was studying off YouTube and, a good thing is in that country, you can give exams.
Yeah.
Only exams. You physically don't have to be in the university like to get marks and stuff.
Wow. So wait, you were just giving the exams and you were studying everything.
Yeah, I
through
did everything
YouTube.
on my own. And I used to go to this
Wow.
institution, like a library kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where,
You get the books and stuff.
and so you have like a tutor here and there. And it was nice.
Okay,
But
wait.
yeah.
I think it's okay. I don't think even that's something that's surprising to me because when I was in dental school, I would not go for the lectures because they were so
Yeah.
bad. So I'd rather just learn everything on YouTube or use the books and study directly from there.
Yeah, it's true. No, right now we exposed, man. Like
yeah.
from ChatGPT to AI and stuff.
crazy.
It's amazing. So, okay, I was just saying about my journey, and so I ended up going to become an accountant because that was the only choice I was given. Then when I was applying there, I came across a talk. Everything has timing, eh? It's beautiful. So this talk was about CFA. And I went, I'm like, oh shit, I love finance. I'm not an accountant. I love maths, yes, but I don't want to do accounts. Because it's monotonous, right? Now, finance is interesting. It's so wide. Everything's changing. So many things so many factors influence different things, in terms of a share, in terms of a bond, in terms of your returns, your ROI. And I'm like, wow, this is so beautiful because I would be, remember we spoke about continuous improvement. Every day we want to continuously improve in different scenarios or aspects. Even with knowledge, like I always want to do value addition to my life in terms of knowledge. So I went for the talk. I'm like, boom, this is me. This is going to be me. Done. Went, studied, did it, came back. Jobs in Kenya? Zero.
Oh,
Sucks balls, right?
man.
I applied to probably over, let's say 30, the big 5 investment banks that are here, and then the small startups. Zero responses. It was a market that was not figured out. It was a very niche career. Now, it's highly on demand and stuff, but that was a setback, right? That I could not do what I actually loved. Somehow it took me there, and I always wanted to practice it. Now my careers have shifted in terms of what I'm doing now. But sometimes I look back and I'm like, yes, it was a setback, right? I wasn't happy in the few starting jobs that I had. But where I am now, I'm so happy. I'm so content. I love it. I learn new things on a daily basis. Also developing personal skills, in terms of leadership, in terms of mentorship.
I saw that screenshot you sent me, and like people were putting their hands up, and you're like, "This is awesome! I'm feeling confident even because of Men's Forum." Yeah.
So like now, public speaking has become a big tool, for me as well, that I'm learning, even communication, giving feedback. So many things, but it's amazing because when I look back, I'm like, that very moment of time, I'm like, oh shit, man, this is not how I planned my life, and I wanted to do this. I wanted this job. I honestly always saw myself being this. Have you watched the movie The Wolf of the Wall Street?
Yeah.
I wanted to be that guy.
Oh, you wanted to be him?
Yeah.
Oh man.
X the women and the booze, but the way he grew in his career.
The way he grew, yeah.
So that was my inspiration.
Okay.
When I'd watch that movie or The Big Shot, I'm feeling goosebumps right now. I would feel goosebumps. Or whenever I watch it, that would give me the drive, be like, this is what I want to be. This is what I want to be. Yeah. I would manifest it indirectly. Remember we spoke about it. But I would not change my life now. I'm very happy. I'm glad.
But do you think you would, given the opportunity, just go and like dabble into finance again?
So what I do now is I've not lost touch with it.
Yeah.
So what I do
you are like really good with your investments.
Yeah. So I keep up with the market. So it's nice, and also I have friends who are in finance. Yesterday I met someone. Apparently I thought she's a lawyer, but now she's in finance. And she's told me there's so many different things that are coming up. And again, we're all looking to make a buck if we have some money lying around somewhere, or even advise a friend. Like, let's say if today maybe I cannot invest, but I can be like, there's something interesting that's come.
You understand these things. You understand investments and stuff.
You can add it to your portfolio.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can make bad decisions as well. But
so this is now knowledge that's kind of like, it's more applicable in your life as your own investor instead of like applying it as career. Yeah, which I think is really cool.
I should start charging people,
Yeah, just
for finance.
I think you can, like, if I come to you and I tell you, dude, like I have this amount of money, it's very simple to be like, okay, I'm gonna take 10% of, I don't know, profits,
or probably an admin fee like every year or something.
Yeah, like an admin fee. There's so many opportunities.
That's just throwing an idea out there.
Share more finance opportunities over here for passive income.
He makes a lot of money, so he has a lot of money. Give him ideas. He probably might invest in your business.
Thank you. Then you just carry on my ass. This question is it's something I even had a whole lecture.
This is a conversation we had 2 days ago.
Yes.
You were messaging me like I'm your wife.
What role does... I was messaging you like you're my wife. What role does forgiveness play in your life, especially in relation to past hurts or traumas?
I can address 2 issues that are on top of my head right now. It's sad. Okay, sometimes all these things happen and it's good it happens to mold you for who you are today. So I know you know one of my exes who cheated on me,
Yeah.
and I was very invested emotionally, which is sometimes, you know, people say emotional baggage. That is what happens when you go through such situations.
Yeah.
So she was cheating on me. Yeah. I think I was blinded by her or the relationship. Or maybe it was just, you know, that whenever she was next to me, like, oh yeah, very pretty. And, you know, it's like a symbol of like, oh, Shaline's got
A pretty
a
girlfriend.
and yeah,
Yeah.
she's this, she's that. All that was bullshit. Anyways, I don't know how I was so blind. She was bloody cheating on me. And not with one guy, with several. The other guy messages me and tells me that why are you with my girl? I'm like, bro, that is my girl. Then it comes to a point, yeah, I'm like, boss, I'm done. Like, I'm not a sharing guy or whatever, but it hurt me, bro. I felt what a heartbreak feels like. Oh my God. I was so bitter after that. I'm like, how can she do this to me? All I did was respect her family. I'd respect the family. I'd value them so much. I'd go out of my way to do things. It's not a comparison, but within me at that time, I'm doing a reflection on myself that was she cheating?
Yeah.
Yes, there were some bad conversations we had here and there, but I'm a man. Sometimes I flip, and at that time I was different, and now I'm different. Something even I learned out of that was anger management. And then I could not move on to like speaking to other women because of this. I was so bitter. I'm like, every woman that comes near me at that very time, like, I don't know. I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you. Stay far. Stay away. So I was pushing all the women away from me. I wasn't speaking to anyone at that time. And then, you know, the way you say sometimes an opportunity presents itself. Then I took a leap of faith. But for me to do that, I had to forgive her. For me to move on. I wish I went and had closure in terms of why you did it, so that I wouldn't have asked myself 1,000 questions. I wouldn't have probably burdened myself with an analysis that I'm the bad guy. That's why she did it. Maybe I wasn't living up to her expectations. Maybe if I spoke to her or why she did it, then it would make me feel better about myself, number one, and also number two, move on and be better in the next relationship. Because of course there was no getting back. And again, it was all at the same time. My dad was sick as well, so it was a very toxic relationship. Sadly, she's going to watch this, but you know, even if say it out loud, I forgive.
Yeah.
And it helped me move forward in my life.
I think it's so amazing that you say that. What I'm picking from this is when you say forgiveness, it was not something that she needed to hear, that I forgive you. It's something that you had to do within yourself to just let go.
True. To let go.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it holds on you like an anchor, right?
Yeah, it does.
Because you freaking hell, man, you'd have all these thoughts
All the
every
questions.
single time.
Yeah. And when you forgive, it's just like full stop.
I'm talking about this and I'm like, shit. Like, I'm really like doing a self-analysis right now. I'm like, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy that kudos to me for, you know, taking that step of forgiveness. But yeah, and you know what? I also want to tell her thank you. Thank you for cheating on me. I would have not met my beautiful wife, an amazing wife right now. So yeah, thank you for doing that. Yeah, that was one. And then the second one was, of course, we've spoken about my dad. I forgave him after he passed on. Understood that all that trauma and all that bitterness and all that hate. It was hate. It was brutal hate. Now I wish him well. You know, I changed my thought process. You know, I'll be like, wherever he is now, positive vibrations. I hope wherever his soul is now, he's doing well. And now I understood all the things that he was doing was his karmic debt. I wish he had the tools of what we speak about now openly. He would have been a different man. But again, also thank you to him that the man who I am today is because of him. Number one, bringing me to life. And
You're so sweet.
And number two, also giving me this very brutal journey that today I'm a very strong man. Just not at home. Just not with my wife, but even outside in society. It feels good. It's not like it's an ego boost, but it feels good that people respect you for who you are now.
Yeah.
What you do and what you bring to the table. And it's not even, I told you, one thing I always tell people, and I keep telling them, money is not everything. It's not money. Being successful is this. When people approach you now and give you that respect, that positive energy in terms of what you're doing is amazing. It's not just a podcast with your work,
Yeah.
with where you stand, the conversations that you're having. All this wouldn't have happened if you didn't go through XYZ, right?
And then, of course, that's on the other side of sitting with yourself and doing the work of forgiveness.
Yeah.
So I think like forgiveness is it's a beautiful thing. Like I've touched on this point earlier, but I think I want to touch on it again. People should understand that forgiveness is very much an internal battle. I did an entire healing session for like forgiveness with a spiritual healer. So yeah, the guy was like, you need to forgive within yourself, not for the other person to know that you're forgiving, but just for your body to feel that you're forgiving. And then you get onto the other side of it. And once you're on the other side of it, then you're like, I now understand all the lessons that I had to learn. I now feel the compassion. And then you stop judging other people who would make similar mistakes because you're like, you don't feel the hurt by that. Because you're like, you know what, we're all human, and I've learned how to forgive in the past, and I'm going to be able to forgive again in the future.
True.
And then again, karmic debt. We had that whole talk with Sister Shivani,
Yeah.
and it was just so beautiful to hear all of that.
True.
There's such a huge aspect of forgiveness in leading and living an amazing life. If someone hurts you and you don't take it as hurt, you're like, okay, I forgive you. But it's internal forgiveness. It's true forgiveness. You live such a great life.
And also what we learned was to transition that thought process and look at the other way. Be like, I wish you well.
Yeah,
I hope
I wish you
everything is fine. I'm giving you positive vibrations.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you positive energy.
Yeah.
Somehow automatically you become more calmer from that situation.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. It's all internal.
Yeah, even sometimes my wife will be like, why are you not getting angry? I'm like, babe,
I forgive
it's
you.
okay. It's all right.
Chale.
Why are you not getting angry? Like, I did this. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry. And it's
In-
been
in-
working out well for us,
Yeah.
Sometimes earlier my approach before that talk was I'd be pissed, then silent treatment. I don't talk about it. But now these days I'm trying to open up. So these days I message in the morning. I'm like, I did like this approach. Like, can we fix this?
Uh-huh.
So
But that's good. Yeah, it's very good.
Now I'm it's something, a positive change that I'm bringing in my life. Or otherwise I would just shut up. Not even talk about it.
All these questions, I thought we were going to have like shallow answers, but like they've ended up being deeper than what we expected. So this might be something that's going to be extended over a course of the next episode. So with that, I guess we'll cut the podcast over here. If you guys are curious to hear more on these questions and answers, stay tuned, because we'll be posting the third part and the fourth part. Maybe
Or
fourth
more.
part, or more, it depends. Or we could just create an entire series. We'd love for you guys to drop any questions that you want us to ask each other in the podcast. Just drop them in the comments below or send them to us via DM. And with that, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Catch you next week. Like, share, and subscribe.
Peace.